Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating thought experiment that starts with a pretty simple question about physics, but you'll see it quickly spirals into a debate that challenges our deepest assumptions about reality itself.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. We all know that physics says it's impossible for anything with mass to actually get to the speed of light. But let's pretend for a second. What if you could? What would you actually feel? Would it be this incredible rush or something else?
And right away, this question splits into two totally different camps. On one side, you've got the dreamless skip theory, the idea that it's an instant jump and you experience nothing at all. And on the other side, there's the timeless dream, that it's this bizarre, endless state of pure consciousness. So let's break down the arguments for both.
All right, so let's tackle the first idea, the one that's grounded pretty firmly in physics. This argument suggests that this grand, epic journey at light speed would feel like, well, absolutely nothing. Now, the logic here is actually pretty straightforward, and it's all built on Einstein's special relativity. See, it starts with a concept you've probably heard of: time dilation. The faster you go, the slower time gets for you. At the speed of light, time literally stops. And from there, the dominoes just fall, right? If there's no time, there's no change. If there's no change, there's no thought. And if you can't have a thought, you definitely can't have a dream.
So the big takeaway here is that light speed travel isn't some super fast experience. It's the complete absence of experience. A photon, a particle of light, could travel for 1 billion years. But for the photon itself, that journey is instantaneous. For you, it would just be a skip, a perfect, silent blank. Okay, but what if that whole chain of logic is built on a shaky foundation? What if the mind isn't just some physical process that has to obey the laws of time? That question, that's where the other side of the argument kicks in.
And boom, this quote right here just flips the entire script. The first argument assumes your mind is just what your brain does. But this view asks, what if it's the other way around? What if the whole physical universe is actually happening inside of consciousness?
This idea has a name. It's called idealism, and it basically says the mind comes first. Reality is fundamentally mental. Our bodies, the stars, everything, it's all a projection of or within consciousness. Now, if that's true, what happens when you remove the body's physical limits, like time?
And this is where things get really wild. If the mind is the true reality, then what happens when you unshackle it from physical time? Does it just expand? Could it perceive everything, everywhere, all at once? Does it enter this state of total simultaneous awareness, kind of like a God state?
Now, this God state thing sounds amazing, right? Becoming aware of everything all at once. But it actually walks right into a huge mind-bending paradox about what it even means to experience something. I mean, think about it. Any experience you've ever had, reading this, listening to me, a dream, it requires limits. There's a you and a not you. There's a sequence, a before and an after. But a state of totality, of being everything all at once, while it has no separation, no distinctions. If you're everything, there's nothing else to experience.
And here's the kicker for the whole dream argument. If you become everything, you can't experience anything. The state of total awareness just collapses back into the absence of awareness. So in a crazy twist, the God state ends up feeling exactly like the nothingness we started with.
So we're left with this third option, this timeless totality. It's not a dream, and it's not nothing. It's more like you become a fully defined fractal pattern. All the complexity is there all at once, but you never actually move through it. You'd have all the information in the universe, but no awareness to appreciate any of it. Okay, hang on, because this is where the conversation takes a massive leap. We're moving from metaphysics and consciousness to something much more personal, the ethics of reality itself. If this timeless, total system exists, what does that mean for our world of suffering, of good and evil? I mean, if the ultimate reality is this neutral, all-knowing thing that doesn't have preferences, what stops destructive, evil patterns from just winning? Why isn't the universe just a chaotic mess that collapses in on itself? Why does there seem to be any kind of order at all?
Well, the argument goes that there's a different kind of care at play. It's not our emotional, I want this specific thing to happen kind of care. It's more like a structural care. The system doesn't pick sides. It just sets up the rules of the game with a built-in bias, a bias towards stability.
And that's where this metaphor, the egg must be broken to hatch, comes in. It suggests that this system allows for growth through what you might call constructive breaking. Sometimes a system has to be ruptured for a new, more complex one to emerge from it. But that raises a huge question, right? Not all breaking is good. An egg hatching is one thing, but an egg just getting smashed is another. So what's the difference? What makes some kinds of struggle and suffering lead to growth, while others just lead to total collapse? And that question leads us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this incredible puzzle. If the system is biased, what is it biased toward and why? What emerges is this idea of a mechanistic ethic. Forget divine commandments. In this view, good and evil are just descriptions of what works and what doesn't. Good patterns are the ones that last, that can grow and connect with other patterns. Evil patterns are the ones that are self-limiting, the ones that destabilize everything around them and eventually just burn themselves out. So the mind-blowing suggestion here is that good isn't some cosmic choice. It might just be the strategy that wins in the long run. Cooperative, coherent systems are simply more durable and resilient than exploitative, chaotic ones. Goodness in this model is basically the winning evolutionary strategy for reality itself. And that leaves us right here with this one final massive question to think about. If this whole model holds any water, what is it about the fundamental fabric of our universe that makes cooperation more stable than exploitation? What is the secret ingredient that makes good systems win in the end? So look how far we've come. We started with a simple what if about physics, and it took us on a journey through consciousness, the nature of God, and ended with a whole new way of looking at good and evil, all from one impossible question. We really want to thank you for coming along on this pretty deep dive. Your time and consideration mean the world to us, and your comments, likes, and shares are what allow us to explore more fascinating topics just like this one. And now, we'd love to introduce you to our sponsor, digitizinghumanity.com. They're doing something truly unique. They're the world's first digital graveyard. In an age where so much of our life is digital, they found a way to preserve that legacy. They can encode a person's digital footprint into an AI, creating a genuinely interactive memorial for loved ones to connect with. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.